Massive day for the permanently in between jobs crowd. A miracle just has happened. So large, in fact, people are not even gonna comment about my clearly masculine shirt choice. That's right, Pirate Blizzard 7, because he worked at Blizzard for 7 years. I feel I need to remind people because no one knows this. Software just scored his first win in literally probably 3 years. And it's obviously against Tectone because there is no one more desperate than him at this point. Oh boys, get ready because this is pure cinema.
Pirate Software has not only apologized, but he was right. Now, I am just as shocked as you, fellow terminally online individual, but I want to give a bit of context because it's going to be helpful for this one. Yesterday, I had posted a video, Pirate Software's
Pirate Software and right definitely needs more context.
mod team quit, and it has gone pretty viral. The information has been found to be interesting by the likes of people like asmongold, who has also done a video covering it. And asmongold, for
The poor imitation of me.
what it's worth, he's covered a few of my videos in the past. He seems to be, you know, pretty level-headed in terms of covering it. He does his whole thing. But most importantly, asmongold appears to have a good level of knowledge, or at least the knowledge needed to look at the drama that we're talking about and understand it and be brought up to speed. The same cannot be said for world-renowned Rumble streamer Tectone. And because of world-famous Rumble streamer Tectone's, you know, lack of knowledge, it appears that he might now have to give 200 subs over to Pirate Software, as well as donate $10,000 to a charity of Pirate Software's choice. But of course, before we jump,
that's never happening. Tectone already lost when he publicly said that he's gonna give, what was it, a sum of money to anyone who can prove that he had 5 lawyers in his trial. Because there's no proof of it, except the proof that Tectone literally himself, less than a year ago, said that he has 5 lawyers.
Jump into that shameless plug. We've got merch going on right now. It's with Quaker Nation.
Nice.
That I'll have a link to the Discord. See you there. And if you like that fact, and if you like this video, want it in front of more people, leave it a like, perchance a hype. It really...
True, boys. Like the video right now. Please do it. It helps me out greatly and I appreciate it. YouTube actually gives you a lot of power, so if you like it, more people will see it. So like it right now. Takes less than a second. It's very easy, and I am really grateful to it. Thank you for everyone. Thank you.
Helps out the channel. But truly, regardless of if you do any of that shit, thank you for watching. Now, we're off to a great start. This is a cut down on Tectone's YouTube page from his legendary Rumble streams, where the title is Pirate Software Leaked DMs, It's Bad. Obviously, number one, these are not leaked DMs. The only leaked DMs are the chats that I had with moderators. All of this was in a public Discord channel on Kronos' server. Now, I thought maybe he just misunderstood that point, but it turns out that Tectone is not actually really a big fan of how I cover things, as I've made a video or two about him.
Tectone is incapable of seeing quality.
Assuming. And I'm going to play just the first minute and a half of this video, and I think we're going to be on the same page as to what clearly went wrong here. Pirate Software's crew, more specifically his first mate, that being Kronos' head.
Now, I will say, I take every Quintio video with a massive grain of salt, because I understand this is a man who's just trying to get a bag, and I respect that.
Oh no! Did we miss it? Did Quintio actually cover Tectone's losses and fallouts? Because this is the only way you get a response like this. Oof. Oof.
But sometimes he really misses the point, and that's absolutely A-okay. That's where I come in.
Now that is a teensy bit ironic, and the rest of his mod team have either been fired or jumped ship. And in doing a bit of research,
saying your mod team is fired is a very exaggerated way to just say they were unmodded. Firing a moderator, it's not a big a deal. These aren't employees, right? These are just people who volunteer to help out.
How did anyone, honestly, to begin with, watch this dude?
It's really not that big of a deal. It makes no difference in their life whether they mod or don't mod. So like saying they got fired is like, you know, it's kind of an exaggerated statement.
And it seems that they were having some conversations in regard to their tenure working for Pirate Software, and I would say the negative
tenure for working for Pirate Software. What the fuck is going on, bro? Like, maybe these guys are doing way more than any other mod
What are these things
on Earth, but like, it sounds like they're talking like a corporate.
Listen, there's me, Then there's asmongold, and then there's people like Tectone. That's how this thing goes, okay? And this is big oof.
CEO office like position. What do you mean tenure of being a mod? Like, is Pirate Software out here paying his mods like 60 grand a year?
Ah, he was so close. He was so close. If it looks like a duck and sounds like a duck and walks like a duck, it might be a duck. Huh, it's so bizarre. You know, they're talking about this like working for him, 10-year firing. It's not like he's paying them, like he's said repeatedly. And here I was worried that I was missing.
Now, granted, it is true that we should take everything that Pirate Software ever says as instantaneously lies and fake, because that's the smart way to approach it. But if you're lying about something like paying your mods are probably gonna call you out on those lies, because that's pretty much WoW.
A few bits of information. I'm so grateful that Tectone has shown up to react to my video to set the record straight.
But sometimes you really miss.
And also, hello there, the people who are commenting react to a react to a for react to for react. Nice.
This is the point. And that's absolutely A-okay. That's where I come in.
Now, admittedly, I never really watched any of Tectone's stuff. I've made videos about him because I found it pretty
No one does. Tectone literally is a massive view bother.
funny that he admitted to being a grifter in court. Really, outside of covering some general news like the fact that it appears that he is going to get sued by his ex yet again after he lost the first court case, I would go
By the way, there's a video from me coming about that because it's pretty funny.
as far to say after watching his reaction to my content that I'm not a fan of the guy. But we do need to take a look at another clip because he was very much in staunch disbelief at the idea that Pirate Software was full-time paying the moderation team as well as getting them benefits. This specific tweet comes from Snake.
By the way, this is just so insanely out of touch. You're a streamer. You should know that there are a lot of big streamers who literally pay their mods.
Sneaky Leaf, so shout out to them. Tectone is
I pay my mods an exposure, which is not a lot because I don't have a lot of full, but I still pay them.
extremely doubtful that Jason Pirate Software is paying his mods a full-time salary and challenges for proof to be shown and puts a bounty of 200 gifted subs if any proof is provided.
Is there any proof beyond Pirate Software's word that he's paying his mods full-time salaries?
I'm super happy to see that renowned Rumble streamer Tectone reaches out to Grok to get the hard-hitting information that he needs to, you know, make the assumptions that he does.
No, there is no proof beyond their words because it's a fucking lie. It's bullshit. There is no way he is paying 12 employees a full-time salary.
Imagine you're calling out Pirate Software and you're somehow wrong.
Because I know how much Pirate makes. He doesn't make that much.
I'm sure if he was also streaming on Rumble, he'd be making way more money.
And I will gift him 100 subs if I'm wrong. He may have done this at a point. He no longer...
Maybe Tectone is just having a schizophrenic episode here, because he literally admitted that he is that. Oh boy. Yes, there's a court... In court, he literally admitted that he is diagnosed as schizophrenic. Oh boy.
Does this. And if I'm wrong, I will give them... No, not 100.
By the way, I absolutely love the Berserk, you know, punishment brand. Should have put that on his behind.
Gift him 200 subs. 200 subs or $5,000 to a charity of his choice. Show me that you're paying 12 moderators $60,000 a year with benefits.
By the way, this is so stupid. Nowhere has he claimed $60,000 a year. That's something he made up on the spot.
You know what? I'll be gracious. Over the last 6 months, you show me that, $10,000 to a charity of your choice.
So there it is, the challenge. He did some apt research with Grok, and he has come to the conclusion that it is
To be fair, that is roughly 5 times more than I would expect Tectone to be capable of providing.
impossible that Pirate Software was paying this full moderation team like he's claimed multiple times over the last few years. Now, the reason that I showed you that Twitter post in specific is that post doesn't actually include his, I'm gonna, donate to charity, 200 subs or the donation to charity. That was in his actual video. That's where that clip came from. But the reason I included that is because Pirate Software responded to that clip. So we've got this response. He shows redacted information showcasing that he, was sending payments in the W-2s of those payments as well. Shows that they were wire transfers originally and they switched over to different payroll systems afterwards. But we actually have Pirate talking about it on stream as well, which I figured would be, better for you guys to see. So I'll just play that clip now. Shout out to Leia Sapienti. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, but they actually have this clip that we're going over here.
I put this up and I said the moment my content blew up, I started paying my moderators and other staff. The blow up happened in December 2023. Payment started in May 2024. We used wire transfers originally because I didn't know how to set anything up. I even gave them bonuses on Christmas. And all of that is actually detailed in here. I've redacted all of the payments and their names for obvious reasons. You don't make that shit public. That's their private information. Yeah, no. But all the dates are on here, and then it shows even the off-cycle payments that we did for bonuses for the employees as well, which is important to understand. But yeah, everything is there and accounted for on a monthly basis going.
Yeah, this is like the only time Jason has been right about anything, and it's impressive, honestly.
All the way back to May 2024. And that was the thing, is like, if he makes that kind of a claim, and he claims that I wasn't doing that, this is the receipts. So don't make bullshit claims on the internet, bud. And if he's going to pay $10,000 to charity,
The irony of him saying don't make BS claims on the internet is just peak, honestly. It is purely peak.
it going to my Ahiga and Alvius Sanctuary, 100%.
So that's the dunk. And I already see people, being upset that he has blacked this stuff out. But yeah, it is a no-brainer. I don't disagree with Pirate there. The thing that I find funnier is that Tectone genuinely believed this, because it shows that he probably didn't know that this has been something that has been claimed since 2023. And I don't think it takes a genius to just kind of think about this for a sec. If your boss was not paying you very well and they went around talking publicly, to people that you yourself interact with as part of your job.
Yeah, he's just going to say now what I said 10 minutes ago. Well, 5-ish minutes probably ago. Hey, again, it's just basic logic. Anyone can figure this out if you just stop and think for a second.
And was saying things like, yeah, I pay them full time. They have full access to benefits, all this good stuff. Why wouldn't you say something and completely expose them and also just not work there? You don't really even have to think through this point very hard. This is a pretty shallow, dig into this. If the mods weren't being paid like Pirate said they were, why would they be working there? Why would they be doing the job? Why wouldn't they have mentioned something earlier? Yes, they were under NDA. But if you've got your boss just straight up lying about all this shit, that would incentivize you to leave. And neither of those things happened. I think I also would have just expected it to come out in the leaks that are in Kronos' public Discord, but no one was complaining about how they were being compensated. I am very curious to hear what you guys think. This just really felt like Tectone had no idea what he was.
Do you think this, by the way, is going to lead to more drama? Because if we look here where it's redacted, you can clearly see that he didn't do the obvious copy-paste redaction of this thing. He redacted the sums, and you can see that some are bigger and some are smaller for some interesting reason. So do you think this is going to end up being new drama? Maybe.
Talking publicly, people that you yourself interact with as part of your job, and was saying things like, yeah, I pay them full time. They have full access to benefits, all this good stuff. Why wouldn't you say something? Even mods weren't being paid like Pirate said they were. Why would they be working there? Why would they be doing the job? Neither of those things happened. I think I also would have just expected it to come out in the leaks that are in Kronos' public Discord, but no one was complaining about how they were being compensated. I am very curious to hear what you guys think. This just really felt like Tectone had no idea what he was talking about, made this claim, and realistically...
Surprise, surprise.
It would be cool to see him donate that $10,000, which he challenged Pirate on, but realistically, I think he's just going to bitch and moan about, private information being blacked out, and that's all we're going to see from that. But that's not where the story ends, because in that clip that I was just showing you earlier, Pirate also takes accountability and apologizes, in essence, which I found pretty interesting.
So I know mods, we didn't make enough money. That's really what it came down to. I made an announcement up on Discord about it. It's entirely my fault that happened. I even put out this whole announcement if you want to read this. Go grab it here. So, wanted to let you all know that we've been changing around the moderation team. Not as large of a creator as I was last.
Okay, question. Is this before the video dropped about his mods leaving, or is this after? This has to be after. And by the way, if this is after, then Pirate Software is just trying to save face because people were calling him out. We saw video clips and whatnot of him pretending that the mods are still working and there's no problems or whatever. So so logically speaking, if this came out before it was known that he fired his mods, then there would be no problem because he would just be able, no, I fired the mods. This is what it is. But if he has posted this now after, which it kind of looks, because you see this bot here, that means that this is a new thing, and it's like in his Pirate Software channel. So this is a new thing. Yesterday, yeah. So this is a new thing. So he posted this just to save face. Pirate Software is not actually taking accountability. I knew it's still good to breathe through.
This year, and I had to let people go due to it. This isn't what I wanted to happen, but it's important to get things stabilized and move forward. The primary cause of all this is me more than anyone else. I took a stance on things that I believe in, and as a result, the studio makes less income, and I had to cut staff to keep things afloat. After that cut, 2 more moderators resigned, which I don't blame them for at all. Please respect their privacy and let them handle this in the way they need to. I hold no ill will towards any of them, and their HR channels are still open should they need anything. That's like that for all of them. To the community, I'm sorry that I didn't say anything about this sooner. We're trying to keep things running for as long as possible without this being the outcome. I didn't want to fire people. That sucks, you know. It was not meant to be as a deception or anything like that towards you guys. I just wanted to keep everyone happy and keep these plates spinning, you know, until it proved to be impossible to manage. And that's kind of what happens there, right? You know, like you just, at a certain point, you go, well, we're out of options. This is it, you know.
Before we dive into some of the details of that post that he's reading off, like I'm never going to condemn Pirate for saying, you know, my bad or taking accountability in any way, shape, or form. Now, yes, he says the primary cause of all this is me more than anyone else. I took a stance on things I believe in, and as a result, the studio makes less income and I have to cut staff, etc. He kind of makes it sound like he was a martyr, which I would say is probably minimizing a bit as to what all went down. But regardless of that fact, I still think this is good. I know that not every viewer is going to agree with that.
Yeah, sounds about right. But it's stuff that makes him out to be a martyr. That's hilarious, honestly.
Information useful. Now, the last couple things are just Pirate kind of commenting on stuff to give a bit further information on how that's all going. Some people in his Discord were saying, talking about what was going on with the banter on Kronos' Discord, saying Parasite is far beyond banter, and then Pirate responded to the person above, no idea, I'm not on it, not really interested in banter, and I hold no issue with any of the past staff. Not addressing the...
Oh, man, he is trying real hard here to keep himself above water.
Replied saying, yep, he does not work for me. Based on his profile, it seems he wants to be left alone about it. As I said in the announcement, all the missing moderators were either laid off or, in the case of 2 of them, resigned. So, just...
Yeah, interesting. Well, in any case... 10 out of 10, that was Quintian. Bye!